and thanks so much for joining me for Everyday Vlogmas Day 6. I think I forgot really how beautiful this foundation is because I've tried so many this year. The Clé de Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation was my favorite of last year, and it's really pretty. So if you like something that is a little bit more lightweight, but you could see that there was some pretty good coverage, but it feels like skincare. So this is, again, one of those no foundation foundations. Such a pretty one. Now this does pull a little bit cool on me. It's 040. So that's my only thing. Like, I wish I had something that had a little bit more warmth, a little bit more peach to it, like the cream shade by Chantecaille. That would be perfect if I could find it in this. But I don't think I've seen a color with that undertone, but let me know if you know one. But this is 040. Just such a beautiful finish. I also like doing these daily because I can respond to questions from either a day or two ago. And there was a question about La Prairie concealer. Is it really that good? And the reason I use both is because I have both and I feel like I need to utilize them. It's really nice. It's more lightweight than the Sisley. It has the same performance as the Sisley. It doesn't crease. I don't need to powder it. It's just a little bit more lightweight. It's more expensive. It's a little bit more fluid. It's not fluid, but it's just not as thick as the Sisley, so if that helps out in any way, plus I think shade match is really important. I have Sisley in 4 and La Prairie in 4, and they look vastly different. So I don't know if that helps at all. I also remember I had a question on the live I didn't get back to. We're going to go side by side with the Sisley powder versus the Chantecaille powder because I haven't had a chance to do that either. So I thought we'd just apply them side by side and see how they look. I have the shade here 3 Sandy. In the loose powder, I have shade 2, but we're gonna go in with the pressed powders today. Yesterday, we went in with Chantecaille first, so let's do Sisley first on the left side. As always, I stamp in the middle and then I will buff a little bit further out, but I apply most right here. You can see it adds color. So I'm curious about shade 2. So if you're any more rich in your skin tone, more tan, this might be a good one. So this does have a pretty sheen on it. It's not as dense feeling, so it feels like it's easier to pick up on the brush. The Chantecaille Hummingbird is not available, at least right now. But fingers crossed, I will keep you updated in case I hear anything. Let's take a look. This is the, I mean, it's pretty. It's a pretty powder. Okay, let's go in. Let me clean the brush. And then let's go in with the Hummingbird powder. So we'll get to see a little bit of the shade difference as well. Now, right off the bat, there's more of a mattifying that I'm seeing with the Hummingbird, which I like because I am more oily. So if you're more dry, maybe you will like this because you can see right away in the pores. Do you see that sheen on there from the Sisley versus like there's very much a like a more blurring of the pores because you don't see as much reflection on the texture part. So here is the Chantecaille that I use every day versus Sisley. Sisley, Chantecaille. See, I do have more texture over here, don't I? I also thought it would be fair to try that Sisley bronzer all over because I don't know if I really showed the real difference because it did look a little bit patchy, but look, I'm patchy over here anyway. And it's much smoother on this side. So let's go ahead with the Sisley powder. But I mean, in terms of a sheen, if you don't want that sheen, then this would be the one to go with if it was available. If you want a little bit more of a sheen, then Sisley would be the one to go with. It comes down to preference. What kind of finish do you like? What kind of undertone do you like? So for me, I prefer a little bit more blurring in the pores. And this tone is a little bit warmer on me, just slightly, than the Sisley. Let's go in again with the bronzer all over the face because I want you to be able to see what it looks like over here. Because I think the Chantecaille looked really pretty in the playback, which is how it looked in real life as well. But I could see that, yeah, the Sisley I feel like didn't get a fair chance over here. So we're gonna go and apply it on this side as well. But let me know any questions. I do remember the questions that are asked, and if I don't answer them below, it's because I mean to address them in a video. Also, the schedule is quite organic in terms of what I'm posting. So the other two videos, like the side-by-side with bronzers, was an idea from you. The one and dones was an idea from you. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know what I was gonna film. So it kind of depends on what I'm opening as well, because had it been some kind of finishing powder, I wouldn't have been able to compare these today. So keep the ideas coming. I really appreciate the views, the comments. And I've seen some of you leave comments that I've never seen leave comments before, because I love all the regulars. I am familiar with some of you because you are so kind and frequently leave comments. But some people I have never seen leave a comment, so I really appreciate that. Here's a Sisley bronzer. Okay, it does look better on this side, doesn't it, compared to here? This is just like my bad side, I guess. I hope that gives you a better idea of how it looks on. But it's warmer. I'm loving the whole one and done thing, so we're gonna do another one and done with one of the palettes I showed you. I really wanna do this color, this gray, and I know Vicky J, you left a comment saying that you love one and dones too. So I just thought, yeah, let's try some more one and dones just for fun. Because I think that's one of the most practical things you can do with makeup. You know, there isn't time every day to spend all kinds of time doing makeup, but you still want it to look pretty. So this is something you can definitely build up and make really smoky, or you can go in nice and light with this. I did not prime this morning, so this is just on my eyelids, but my eyelids are on the dry side anyway, so depending on your type of eye, you might need to prime. Let's go in with the blush. Again, it's in shade 440, Quintessence. Interesting to note the sheen here, because of the powder underneath, is really pretty under the blush, if you like that effect on the Sisley side. So that's kind of an interesting observation between the two. Now it really depends again on what you prefer, but I thought since we have, I think all of my blushes from Chanel opened at this point, we could go through and I could show you the ones that I have, and they really are ones that I look closely at as much as possible online before I purchase them. So these are like the ones that I was really interested in. So everything else, let me know what you think I should pick up next, because they didn't stand out to me as much, but I'm probably missing something, because I feel like with Chanel blushes, you don't really know until you see it and try it on. In fact, this one is a lot more soft than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be really intense. So let's look at the shade in here. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a really bright color, but it's not. It is really beautiful, and there is a bit of a sheen to this one as well. It's not totally like matte, so there is a sheen, but not so much a shimmer. I'd like to try this against 68 and see what the difference is, because they remind me of each other, but yeah, I think this does have a bit more intensity. So let's go ahead and look at blushes. When I look at all of them like this, they all look very similar, but they do have their differences in terms of finish and a little bit of undertone, so we're gonna see them swatched. Hopefully you'll be able to see the difference as well. So we've got Jersey right here, the lightest one. That one's pretty for a light wash of color. This is 68, probably my most worn because it's so versatile because of its finish being more matte. It is a bit cooler than Jersey, but also I don't know if you can tell the finish is has very, very little shimmer. Here we've got Rose Bronze, which to me isn't really bronzy, but I think maybe the tone might be a little bronzy, but the actual shimmer in there was a bit cool on me. This is the Holiday blush, the one with a lot of shimmer in it. This has a very nice tan tone about it, very much a sun-kissed look. There's certainly more shimmer on this one than any of the other ones. Here's Evening Beige. It's got a very warm tone and more shimmer in it than something like Jersey. That one also seems a bit more powdery in its texture, So if you look at the very first one, which is Jersey, this is Evening Beige. Out of all of the blushes I have, that one has the most distinct particles in terms of shimmer. This one is In Love. It's more of a coral, so there's a bit more pink to this one than the other one I just showed you. Finally, the one I opened today, Quintessence. That's definitely the most pink and most vibrant of all of the blushes I have. Here they are side by side. I'll list them in the order that I showed them as well. And that is it for day 6. So we're about, what, 25% done, a quarter done. So thank you for all of the encouragement, because I feel like the last day is so far away, but it is going fast at the same time. So I do appreciate your kind words and encouragement. That's it for today's video. So please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.